Greetings and welcome to Student Web Radio.
We're here to keep you in the loop of the digital media world.
Here with all the information are your hosts Michael
and Mel, and I'm Jordan.
This week, we discuss user-generated content, which is media made by you. Throughout the course of the week, we'll be dealing with gaming, music, video, and social media. Today's topic of discussion, game modding.
Perhaps the most important aspect of user-generated game media is game modification, or modding. Basically, source code or editing software is used to alter and extend games, or even develop completely new games.
Right, so it's an activity tied to the growth of the personal computer. As that advanced, files and coding became easier for consumers to manipulate.
Yeah, but there's also the role of the internet. Its online communities provide a virtual space for people to work together, and networks of gamers mean a constant audience for user-generated content.
Modding itself was probably kickstarted by the games industry. The editing utility provided with the game Doom basically formalised it as a practice. It became a standard feature for games, and it's an easy pathway for first-time game modders. But nowadays, modding is a major part of gaming culture and increasingly important source of value for the games industry.
I think another important example in modding history is the popular multiplayer shooter game Counter-Strike, which was a modification of Half-Life. It took the code and look of Half-Life, turned it into a fast-paced multiplayer game, which then became a standalone product generating a whole new series of likewise games.
So modders are taking on a much larger role in increasing the shelf life of games after their original play is completed, but also in terms of innovation.
Exactly, and that's into an industry with huge commercial risks, a high rate of new release failure. User-generated modding may soon become the largest network of research, development, testing and marketing available to the games industry, but they're working independently as a freeware counterculture.
So here you're talking about ideas like Seth Prabhash's communal discovery dynamic and Henry Jenkins' collective intelligence, basically leveraging community networks to find information, create ideas and solve the problems.
Right again.
But why is it the case that users are so important?
It would probably be because games are part of the perceptual innovation economy of digital media. There's fairly set ways of writing a book or filming a movie, even though language changes and film technology upgrades. But with games, there's not necessarily an equivalent framework. Just think of all your different board games or sports.
And who better than the gamers themselves to know what's in game vogue?
Don't forget though, there's the possibility we could see a big war between modders and the game industry over intellectual property rights. After all, mods are created from industry source code, game engines or map editors. So modders get to play, create and share, but not for profit or ownership.
Yeah, so Julian Cookledge has a great article on these ethical issues. His argument is basically that modders are being exploited due to the precarious nature of their work as play and labour, which he calls playbour. But to some extent, if they weren't being exploited, the process would lose independence because the counterculture community would simply become a branch of the capitalist industry.
Speaking of capital, since 2003, Linden Labs, the developer of MMORPG Second Life, have recognised user ownership and copyright of in-game content or brands. What this is leading to very rapidly is a multitude of virtual game world economies where modders exchange real currencies for virtual items and virtual currency to use in an online world.
And these virtual worlds can be logged onto any time 24/7. The biggest of them with populations in tens of millions. A person's virtual property there could go for thousands.
We could soon see really big money. It's almost like a new set of developing countries. The economic barriers between our online and offline worlds are fast falling due to the influence of modders.